We are live, all the way live. We're here together once again, and the lighting is near perfect. I love it. It's really good. Early in the morning here, we are 7:30ish in the morning. It is Thankful Thursday, one of my favorite days. Love Thankful Thursday. It's a great day to reach out to all the people that I love on Twitter, and I'm always grateful for their support and kindness. And, all the new people that I'm meeting through different avenues of sports. We are every day working on the football aspect, getting a little better every day. As you know, I've been doing a show. It's the spiritual slant of football and sports. And I'll probably do some baseball stuff as well because of the Blue Jays. And if the Argonauts do really well, which is CFL, I will probably do my best. So, what is going on with Josh Allen? What do you guys think? Is he in a funk? Is he having a rough time? I don't know. It's hard to say. He seems to be on fire one week, and then there seems to be drama and turmoil. And I don't think they're being outplayed. Now, I'm also being a little unfair. Tony D running behind, but heading into work. Tony D runs a great show. It's Sundays. If you love sports, there's a little bit of spirituality in there. He has insights. You can find them all over the net. Tony D will set you free. That's all I'm going to say this morning. Hopefully, you have a great day, buddy. Is Thursday nuts for you? Probably is. You know, many of us right now are juggling, right? And that's the thing with Josh Allen. We don't know what's going on. We don't know in the professional football player's mind what is going on. We were talking about this in the show. We were talking about, okay, you go to England, you have a significant other, you have a wife, you maybe even have your children with you. This is an event. This is more than football, right? So there's distractions. There is jet lag. There's exhaustion because maybe you're not sleeping in your normal bed. And that's what they were saying is Josh was having a rough time because he wasn't in his normal bed and he must have a routine. And some people are highly, what's the word? Structured. Heavily structured individuals don't like changes. Like in the morning, I like a coffee. Every Thursday, I like to reach out to the people that make my life worthwhile on Twitter. And it's important to do that because I think we take people for granted. And I don't want to do that. And what I'll do is I'll ramble on here for about, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, sometimes 40 minutes if I get in a groove. And then I'll slice and dice it later. If I'm feeling creative and I'm open to starting, the YouTube again after 10 minutes, it's easier because then you can take a 10-minute clip now and you can put it on multiple platforms. If you have Twitter Blue or verified X, because it's X now, right? Chewing gum is one of the simplest exercises to reduce and lose under chin fat. This is hilarious. Since chewing gum works many muscles in your neck and face, it can reduce double chin and improve your jawline. Did you know? That is funny. Well, you know what? Mine's not too bad right now. And I find with me, it's more controlling my weight. The waistline is the hardest part for you. Is it hard for you guys? We have Richard Roberts. Let's get closer. Richard Roberts in the morning, all over the world, modifying, invigorating, and stimulating your mornings with, yes, Richard Roberts. There is a soundbite for you, buddy. We do a show sometimes together. Richard tends to be opinionated. I tend to be opinionated. We're both, I think, learning every week more and more about what's going on in football. But I think right now, with what's going on in the league, there is experts who've been doing this for 10, 12 years that are having a rough time. They don't know up from down. And it's really weird because there seems to be 5 teams to me. And this is me, okay? So you don't have to agree, and you can tell me in the comments if you don't. Everybody says, and everybody's on the bandwagon right now. And you know what I'm going to say? Do you know? Most people say there's a good chance that the Chiefs could win again. That's one of the scenarios. Then you have those who believe, hands down, the very best team is the Cowboys. And then you have other individuals who I would say are logical and are looking at the roster, and they're saying the 49ers. My logical mind says 49ers. And then I would probably go Philadelphia Eagles. And then I would probably go the Dolphins. And next in line would be maybe Buffalo, if they can stay healthy. And then there's a couple of wild ones in there that you don't know, right? Like Jacksonville looked really good the other day. But there's a whole bunch of teams in the middle, right? And you know what I'm talking about. And I would love to see Tampa Bay do really well because I love Baker Mayfield. If you're a business person, if you want to look at a model of a business that is doing well, oh my God, the Cowboys. They make so much money. It's insane. They are hands down one of the most successful franchises in the world. Richard Roberts says, I think the New York Jets will win it all. Now, do you think Aaron Rodgers will come back? Do you think that's possible? You're not going to like what I say, Richard. And you don't like what I say most of the times, but that's okay. I don't think Aaron would have done better. Not a lot better. Maybe enough where they could have been a couple more wins. But where they lost big, I don't know. I don't think they would beat the 49ers with Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know if they would beat the 49ers with a young Rodgers. There's a lot of holes there. It's not perfect. They're kind of a mid-tier team. And even they said that beforehand. They were worried for him. That's just you, Michael. It's all in my mind. I'm imagining it. Okay. I'll be all right. We have fun. That's the thing, right? If you do a broadcast with someone, you have to have chemistry and trust. We've talked about this before. If you don't have chemistry and trust, it is pretty freaking boring. Many of the shows that I watch are logic based, but I do enjoy some of the shows that are a little loony. And I'm talking about Insights of Football. I'm wondering if you guys watch the shows I watch. How do you feel about Buffalo? I love Buffalo. Okay, so I better explain. Buffalo is probably my favorite team, even though I don't talk about them a lot. My second favorite team would probably be Detroit. And I think our good friend here, Richard, said you must be very accustomed to losing. You must be very comfortable losing. I have individual players that I root for. I think Josh, if he was on then oh god, let me think here. If he was on the Eagles, he would win a Super Bowl. If he was on the 49ers, he would win a Super Bowl. I don't know after that. What do you think? Morning walk with the missus. That's the thing, in this life, you have to prioritize what's important to you and make sure that you stay focused on that for your life. And if you have someone who is in your corner and has been in your corner forever, you are insanely blessed. You live in a blissful state. You are a person who has some forms of fluidity or vibrational harmony, or you live in the gap. And everything in life is a matrix. And you're saying, what do you mean? Because we live within a matrix. It's all a game. It's a series of frequencies, energies, vibrations. That's exactly what it is. Just anything from our heartbeat to the way that we're wired. Even if you look at what we're made of, we are made from stars. And the sad truth is, as you get older, we're going to use another song. We are nothing more than dust in the wind. Now, if you believe that your spirit lives forever, great. One of the things I love about football is one of those things like meditation. When you are in the zone, and I don't mean the end zone, you are fully engaged. You are present. Really good players live in the gap, know the power of focusing, laser focus, getting away from mental chatter. Don't think that professional athletes don't have doubt. They do. And a lot of them are able to shut out the pain and the worry and the self doubt. And then you have those that are probably very narcissistic and believe that they can control the world, which is, I think, traits that you need in leaders, as long as it's something that helps the collective, right? The collective goal. But if we only seek to look out for people's faults, and there's a lot of that going on right now. Everybody wants to reboot, restart, flush the team, get rid of the coach, and they one bad game, two bad games, right? At the beginning of the season. The Cowboys will make the playoffs. Will they win the Super Bowl? No, not with Dak. Sorry. I can't see it unless he gets bionic legs. What was his name? Steve Austin? Do you remember that? Yeah, he's got no speed now. He's a pocket quarterback. He's becoming very one-dimensional, which is not good. He doesn't have a great arm. He's got good size. He's doing less interceptions, and then there's ridiculous talk like that, Brock Purdy is normal. Like he's not a big deal. He's not extraordinary. He's more ordinary. I think to play at that level and to be able to place the passes while you have people chasing you and trying to smash you into the ground requires a very incredible high mental acuity. Period. I wish they were just kinder, but it's football. And I think there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background. You could make two very competitive teams with the roster of the 49ers. Seriously. You could make two strong teams. Now, like most of the teams in the NFL, and I talked about this recently, they have no backup plan. They have B to C quality quarterbacks. And I've often wondered too why there isn't more emphasis put on the kickers. You would think you would try to have the best kicker, where it's like 90% of the time they're kicking it through the uprights. And how many of these games are won by 3 to 6 points? It's a big factor. There's a lot of games I'm thinking about right now. They would have won if they would have gotten all the kicks. That's crazy if you think about it. It's becoming though more and more for the teams that are in the middle tier. And you're probably saying, what the hell's the middle tier? But to me, that's the Steelers, right? That's the Rams, you know, that's Carolina. If anything, that's bottom tier. I think you're going to see Buffalo have where they win 2 games and they win a game. Maybe. Maybe they win the next game. You know what I mean? Like 2 for sure. Maybe they get the 3rd game, but they won't ever go beyond a streak of 3. They don't seem to do that. And the Cowboys are going to be the same. I think they're going to win a couple and then they're going to lose a couple. They're going to win a couple and they might go on a streak of 3, but they don't have the ability to go 6 straight. And that's the other thing. How long is it going to be? And if you look at the schedule, holy crap, there's not great teams coming up against the 49ers this week, right? Or the next few weeks, I should say. Sorry. I'm talking the next 5 weeks. These are all teams that are easily beatable in my estimation. Injuries, huge part, right? It's funny because I've heard this name pronounced so many ways, but I heard another player, and it's funny, pronounce it this way. So I'm going to try to pronounce it the way he did. Devon Arche. Now I've heard Archain. I've heard maybe 5 different variations, but supposedly it's supposed to be said Arche, like almost like Arch A. Or I've also heard HA. I've heard Arch Chain. It's weird. Now, if you look at it and you break it down, it looks like A chain, but that's not. I don't think that's correct. So you know who I'm talking about. And the person who did the breakdown of the pronunciation was Rahim Massoud, who I think has also been injured recently. So you've got your 2 speedsters that are not hurt, and that is their main weapons, right? So you have one more speedster on that team. Do you know who that is? I bet you do. Formerly with Kansas City. They should have never got rid of him. I guess he tried to run the team. They weren't too happy with him. All right, I'm going to go through here. And let's say that you were able to acquire one of these players. You were able to acquire one of these players. Number 1, we've got here George Kittle. Jake Ferguson is number 2. And let's go with Charlie Warner of the 3. Who would you pick? Who would be your if you could trade for these individuals? George Kittle unfortunately gets hurt a lot. I'm gonna put it right here. I'll give you a couple more too. There you go. Hit this. There you go. All right, let's kick that and let's have a look here. Okay, so here's what they're saying for the 2024 NFL draft. If the season ended today, okay, you ready? Chicago would get the first pick. Chicago would get the second pick. Denver would get the third pick. Minnesota would get the fourth pick. The Patriots would get the 5th pick. New York Giants would get the 6th. Arizona Cardinals would get the 7th. Green Bay would get the 8th. And we've got the Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders would get the 9th. And the 10th pick would be Arizona. Now, if you look at this year, there hasn't been great impact with the players that they did get. Let's be real, right? CJ Stroud, yes, he has been a winning combination. But you cannot Anthony Richardson, who I love. I love to watch him. Think he's an incredible player, has immense ability. Highly recommend him. He's phenomenal. Good morning, Vito. Thank you from Italy. Thank you for being here. I hope you're feeling well. Thank you. I always appreciate you being here. It's nice to have you here, sir. Vito knows me from my Haps days. So Haps was a great app. And the reason it was that you were able to free multi-broadcast to, I think, up to 5 different streaming platforms. And I used to play music. I had a morning show, and I did it every morning. Even the mornings I didn't want to do it, which was a lot of mornings. I got to be real. But the thing I noticed when I was doing that show was there would be moments where the planets would align. I would get the guest I need, and everything would fall into place. And life is like that. You would find fellowship with other broadcasters, and we had the same agenda, and we're all trying to make a little bit of money, and we're trying to build our brand. And you got to look at it as the same in football. And that is one of the problems that you see with the teams that aren't doing well. If you are not doing well, fans are not buying merchandise, right? They're not buying. They're they may not be coming to the games. You may have a lot of stands that are not full. It's funny though. There are so many die-hard fans now. No matter what the Cowboys do, they seem to be able to fill the stadium. They seem to be able to get the corporate sponsors. Will it always be that way? I don't know, and they don't seem to be in any hurry to change the few pieces they need, because that's all they need. Let's be real. They might need 2 pieces. And I'm not the only one who's talking about this. Oh my God, everybody's talking about it. Um, People are enraged. I got to be honest. Just gonna have a quick search here. Okay. Yeah. So I won't read most of the comments. They're nasty. Okay, here we go. Did Jerry Jones go on the radio and say that Dak Prescott will be the QB that takes the Dallas Cowboys to the Super Bowl? And then they put lying to America, and the person's name is Stan Jones. Um, I think you can be delusional. I think you can be protecting the brand. That doesn't mean that you're lying. You may be delusional. You may have unshakable faith, but the thing is, you can't base a season, right, or a team or a player on one game. They've had 2 losses, if I'm correct, and got a lot of injuries, and that's the thing. And you're always going to have teams that peak, right? Yeah, and here's the thing: they're saying things like, "We need to defend Dak Prescott. We have things I can't read about Dak Prescott," and it must be difficult for him as a player, because he's kind of in that middle tier to me. He's like a 10, right? And I don't mean out of 10. I mean like he's 10 to 12, right? There's a lot of other quarterbacks that are I would say more skilled than him. Um, I'm going to do a quick search, and then I'm going to do. All right, I can't be on here forever, so we will make sure that we do some shout outs too. Okay, so here we go. Um, Geno Smith. I think he's in that tier of Geno Smith. I think he's in the tier of Russell Williams. Um, Ryan Tannehill. I think he's an undervalued asset who also gets a lot of heat. Who are the top quarterbacks in 2023? Let's have a look here. See what they say. So according to this, let's have a quick look. Patrick Mahomes, totally agree with that. Don't know if this is correct. They have Josh Allen as number 2. Do you agree that to be? They say Joe Burrow, number 3. Justin Herbert, who's really done nothing this year so far. Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor should be top 3. And I don't know if it's where he's landed. Kirk Cousins could be an incredible asset. And it's pretty durable for an older guy, right? He's pretty durable. And like I said, here we go. Number 10, Dak Prescott. Tula, I think right now should be number 2. And Matthew Stratford is a person that should be in the top 5. And I'm talking my list, not your list. And these lists, Dijon Watson or Deshaun, like Dijon mustard. No, he's not reached his peak. Here's one of my favorite humans. That's a football player. Love Derek Carr from New Orleans Saints. He's an undervalued asset because he's got a great arm. Jared Goff. Some weeks looks like he's a top 5 to me. He's had a phenomenal year. Justin Fields is a person who needs to work on his pocket game, right? And some of his decision making. But that's the same of a lot of different quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett has had okay year. He has moments. I think Brock Purdy may be the most undervalued asset that you're going to find on quarterbacks, and a lot of people don't like him. Jimmy G is another one if he was on the right team. Bryce Young, again, incredible. A little more durable than I thought. I thought he was going to last 2 games. Sam Howell is doing really well this year, and he's had a couple bad games. Baker Mayfield has shocked the world this year, doing unbelievable. He's an incredible quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see who gets Rookie of the Year this year. So far for me, CJ Stroud. In the top 5 would be Anthony Richardson, who was supposedly not even fit to start. And yet he proved right out of the gates that he had the potential to do it. The problem with him is he's getting injured a lot. And I think a lot of it is he's expecting to do everything. And he needs some pieces to help him. And I think they've got them. I think there is a team that could be a real threat week 10 if they can stay healthy. I would love to know who are your top 10 quarterbacks. That would be great. So why don't we hit into right now if we can. You guys ready? Let's go into some of the games here, okay? So we got one today. We've got Denver, and let's have a look here. All right, let's have a quick look here. So, oh my God, that's awful. Wow. The Broncos are rated 28th in the league, their power rank. So the power rank overall for Kansas City is number one. Their defense is considered eighth in the league. I would agree with that. Their offense is fourth. I think that's a little high, to be honest. I don't have a lot of faith this year in the pieces around Patrick Mahomes, right? Travis is getting older. He's already shown that he's had several little injuries, and he could be a little distracted. I think he's having a lot of fun. That might motivate him. I don't know. That might put fuel in his tank. I don't know him well enough to assume. The money line on this is Kansas City. Yeah, it's not letting me see the spread. But I think this is pretty easy to pick. I'm gonna go with Kansas City. I think it will be because haven't been high scoring. So I'll say 30 to 20, 20-ish. I think that's the way to go. A 10-point spread. Hopefully it's not any closer than that. Let's look at the second game here. All right, so we've got Ravens against the Titans, and that's Sunday, and the kickoff is at 9:30. And I'm gonna have a quick look here. Ravens have been looking beat up, and I don't want to be mean. They really have looked beat up to me, like they're having a rough time. Um, Lamar is good. He's a key asset as long as he stays not injured. We have a lot of people who are questionable for the game. We have a lot of injuries. Um, OBJ is not good. He's got leg problems. You can tell he's limping, right? Um, a lot of the weapons that they were going to have, and he was going to have 6,000 passing yards. That hasn't happened. Flowers, dropped I think 2 passes last game. I think he has like 77 yards total. It's not great. It's okay. And many teams can do that. They can win by having 5 or 6 people, right? Who get 50 yards, 70 yards, 40 yards. And they can win that way. And that's kind of what the Chiefs have been doing. I honestly don't know with this game. I like the Titans, but I'm gonna go with the Ravens, and it's gonna be really tight. I don't think it's gonna be high scoring. I'd be shocked if it was. I'd love it to be high scoring, but I don't think it will be. I don't think it'll be any more than 30 points again, and it'll be close, like 27-30 for the Ravens. But it's going to come down to kicking, special teams, interceptions, who the amount of sacks, the fumbles, all those things. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game. I think it's going to be messy. We'll see. It's interesting. Okay. All right. Let's maybe do 2 more. Let's do 2 more. Okay. So in the next game, 2 teams I like, which I think are in the middle tier of production. They're not horrible teams. They're not great teams. I like the coaching. I like the ownership of the Commanders. They're 2-3 this year, and the Falcons are 3-2, so they're similar. The Falcons show real greatness at times. They really do. And the Commanders are kind of your middle tier team, right? Unless a few things change, I'm going to go with this the Falcons, and I'm thinking this will be the Falcons 35 and the Commanders 32, something like that. And the kickoff is Sunday at 1 p.m. Okay, this is a cool game. I like this game. This is a game I'd like to watch, actually. So we've got the Vikings, and the Vikings right now, their power rank. Okay, we're doing team metrics right here. The Vikings are 19th power rank overall, and the Chicago Bears are 27th. Their defense is 21st, and that's what's been killing the Vikings. Their defense is not good. They're offensive, though. Okay, so if you look at the Vikings, offensively, they are 8th overall. That's not too shabby. Where, unfortunately, the Chicago Bears are 21st. Chicago Bears, though, I think are heading upward. I think they are going to surprise people in the next 3 or 4 games. I think it's gonna go well. So for them, I think they're not gonna win this game, but I would be happy for them. Um, they've gotta do something with Kirk Cousins. He has lost a few weapons, but he'll be okay. Um, the Vikings have to figure out what they're doing. If they're in a rebuilding mode or they're gonna try to fix this mess. So for those who don't know this, I love Kirk Cousins. I love what he stands for. He's a great man. He's a family man. I would love to see him with a better defense around him. I think we would see a different, and I don't necessarily mean offensive line. I mean defensive line, because I don't know how many times they got a lead and then it was just squandered. Like the defense couldn't hold it. Um, imagine you had someone like Kirk Cousins in Pittsburgh, right? Or if you had him in Tampa Bay, or if you had him in Detroit, um, he would be doing better. It would the record would not be what you're seeing right now. Like this is bizarre when you look at his numbers, and to know that they've only won one game, and the Bears have only won one game in the first four. Sorry, first five. 1 and 4 is 5, Michael. Basic math. Basic math. So I'm gonna go Vikings. I think this is gonna be high scoring. I think this is gonna be like 40, 40-30, and in favor of the Vikings. So that's my prediction. And we'll see how this plays out. It's gonna be interesting. Okay. What do we add here? And we can do a couple more. All right. This is not one I want to bet on at all. Okay, I'm oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna look at the Seahawks, okay, and the Bengals. And the Seahawks definitely have momentum. They're 3-1. They're very solid. Uh the Bengals are, I think, in recovery. It looks like Joe Burrow is getting his stride. His weapons are working. They everything seems to be aligned. It's like they got defragged or a tune-up of some sort. Things are looking better and upward for them. So let's look at this. So we've got the power ranking overall for the Bengals is ninth, and the overall power ranking for the Seahawks is 13th. If you look at offensive, they say the Bengals are third and the Seahawks are 13th. Now, this is where the Bengals are a mess. The Bengals are 16th in defense rating. The Seahawks are 17th, so they're evenly matched there. I'm going to go with the Bengals, and I think it's going to be a great game. I'm going to say 30 to 24 in favor of the Bengals. That's my prediction, and we will see how that goes. There's a lot of injuries here. Jay Adams is questionable. D Metcalf is questionable. Jay Brooks is questionable. Lucas is questionable. D Lewis is questionable. P Haynes is questionable. And A Burns is questionable. And it's funny, you look here, leg, torso, head. But it's mostly leg when I notice the injuries. A lot of. That's why so many of them get the massage and the deep, they have all kinds of therapies that they do. Okay, so what's the next game here? This should be fun, this game. I like this. This might be the game of the week, honestly, for me. So you've got the 49ers who are 5-0. You've got the Browns who are 2-2. Okay? So, let's look at the rankings here. I'm trying to tune into this one. I think the Browns will do fairly well. I think they will be defensively challenging to the 49ers. Now, the 49ers are rated first in defense, overall third, and offense fifth, where the power ranking of the Browns is 12th, and the power ranking of offense is 25th. So I think the defense is going to keep it close. I think it's going to be, I would say, in favor of San Fran, 24 to 18. 24 to 18. That's my prediction on that game. And that should be, honestly, a very, very physical game. The next game we're going to tackle here is the Panthers. And the Panthers are, they're struggling. Let's be real. They're 0-5 against the Dolphins, who have won 4 and lost 1. Do you know when the one game they lost? Buffalo, right? One game. That's it. So let's look at the power ranking here. Near the bottom overall is, of course, the Panthers at 30th. And the Dolphins overall ranking is 8th. Their offense, though, is rated 2nd. And I believe that when they're healthy. But they're not healthy right now. Their defense is 9th. So a little better than average. I say the Dolphins 48. That's right. 48 to 22. 48 for the Dolphins, Panthers 22. That's the score, I think. And the game will be over probably by the second half. It'll be a bit of a mess. I would like to be wrong on this one. I really would. It's not been an easy year for the Panthers, but they're kind of where people anticipated where they would be, unlike the Colts. But the Colts are doing, I think, a lot better than people had anticipated. And they've had their share of injuries. Okay, so that's where we're headed next. Let's go here. The Colts are becoming one of my favorite teams. Ooh, this is very evenly matched. Okay, so we got the Colts 3-2, and we've got the Jaguars at 3-2. Two amazing quarterbacks. Unbelievable, right? We got Anthony Richardson and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is definitely the better quarterback. No offense, Anthony. He just is. I think you're both underrated in many ways. We've got injuries, of some impact players. The money line. Yeah, see, it looks like a lot of people believe that the Jaguars will take this. I'm going to go with the Colts. Um, just a feeling. Even though they have a guest quarterback, who's done fairly well, I'm going to go with that. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 32 to 28. 32 to 28 in favor of the Colts. Only because they've had a surge of offense recently. So if you look at this, let's look at the power rankings here. We've got overall rating 23, which is not bad for the Colts. 15th for the Jaguars, which is a bit of a disappointment. Here's where the Jaguars are a mess. They're 22nd in defense. Here's where the Colts are in serious trouble. They're 31st in defense. Now in offense, they're supposedly 31st as well. And the Jaguars are 12th. But they show flickers, and they did last week, of being able to be dominant. So I think the Colts have a chance here. If you're going safe money and the odds are close, I would go with the Colts because I think it's going to be a close game. Depending on what the spread is. Right now, we're looking -4. Yeah, -4. All right. What do we got here? We're almost done, I think. Two teams I really enjoy watching. The Saints, big fan of the Saints. And here's where the Saints are underrated, okay? And I think they have one of the best defensive cores, period. Unbelievable. They are 6th. I think they're better than that, honestly. Their offense, not so good. 23rd, but not horrible. The Texans, though, are 17th. Their defense is 15th. And their overall rating is 31st. Now, where the Saints are rated power ranking overall 10th. So I really believe that the Saints could really peak this year. And if they get a couple pieces, I think they'll make the playoffs. The Texans, who knows? But they're fun to watch. And I love teams that are fun to watch. And we've been talking throughout this video about stuff in the middle tier. I would definitely say the Texans are in the middle tier. Okay. So the next game we have, let's have a look here. And this is another, I would say, two teams that are struggling, right? And one is really limping. The Patriots are exactly what I thought. Okay. Overall ranking 24th. We've got the Raiders, the Vegas Raiders at 20th, which is shocking. I honestly thought they were higher than that. Their defense is rated 24th, and the Patriots is 25th. So defensively, according to this, they're pretty evenly matched, right? So it's going to come down to mental errors, right? Who's more healthy? who wants it more, maybe even mindset. The offense, though, you're looking at the Patriots, is guess what? 22nd. The Raiders is 15th, which is really respectable. Um, Jimmy G and Mac Jones. Mac Jones, God, they're mean to him. They are very mean to him. And yet they've been in other ways saying Brock Purdy is at the same level as Mac Jones if you were to put him in the 49ers lineup. I don't know about that. This one's hard. I'm going to go with the Raiders just because they're so violent. They're violent. They're almost old school violent. They beat you. They beat you to death. Like they give it, right? They're not there to make friends. So and they're fun games to watch. So I'll say Raiders 25 and the Patriots 18. And this game will be tight. It'll be a tight game. I would say right till the end. This will be a lot of field goals. That's what I'm feeling. A lot of field goals, 3 or 4 fumbles, interceptions. It's going to be very defensive. Not necessarily the most exciting game to watch, but fun if you enjoy defensive battles, which some people do. Thank you. Okay, so what do we got left here? Okay, here we go. This might be one of the hardest games for me to judge. Oh boy. My heart loves, you know, the Lions, right? My heart also loves the Buccaneers. I love the stories. I love both the stories. They're great. Um, you got Jeff Goff, who's steady Eddie. They've been doing some trick plays. It's been really entertaining to watch. Baker Mayfield is showing why he was a number one pick this year. He seems in the zone and he looks like he's enjoying life. He's in the gap, right? And that's the key. You got to be in the gap, enjoying life as much as you can. Did you hear my stomach there? My stomach going, feed me, feed me. Okay, so we have, let's see here. This will be interesting to look at. Overall power rating. We are looking at the Lions at 7th. And surprisingly, Tampa Bay 11th. I didn't know it was that high. Defensively, the Lions are superior. They're 13th overall in the league. And we have the Buccaneers at 18th, which is respectful. A respectful rating. The offense is superior, according to this, with the Lions. And Baker Mayfield is at the 26th. And I think that's partly because they're just not getting a lot of points. When they're winning close games. Okay, so let's look at the record. The Lions have won 4-1, and the Buccaneers are 3-1. Okay, I'm thinking I'm going to go with the Lions. My heart wants Baker Mayfield to do really well and win. But logically, I think the Lions just have more weapons and a better defense. So I'm going to go with them. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be fairly high scoring. I'm looking 32 Lions and Buccaneers 28. Yeah. It could even be higher scoring, but I doubt it. Here's the thing, there are so many impact players that are, questionable. We've got St. Brown, D. Skipper with a leg injury. We've got Jay Pascal with a leg injury. We got C. Gardner Johnson with torso, Jay Jackson with leg, T. Decker with a leg, and E. Mosley with a leg. So many leg injuries. Yeah. We're just not built to be hit repeatedly. That's the truth. So we've gone through the whole gamut and we did it within an hour this time. Now, if we had multiple people, this becomes 2 hours. Thank you to all the people that are on Twitter. So let's do a quick Thankful Thursday here. Let's see what we got here. It's so funny. I went to use my touchscreen, but I don't have touchscreen. That's funny. Let's see here. What do we have? Wow, there's a lot going on with Dak Prescott right now. I'm looking at my tweet deck. All right, so close this one. And can we shift this over? Get rid of that. Let's make this bigger. Can I make this bigger? I don't know. What is that? Interesting. A little button there I didn't know existed. Ah, here we go. This is what I want right there. And then I need that little slide bar. Okay, now we're in business. All right. So we got football insights. Mm-hmm. 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 Let's have a quick look here. Yeah, a lot of the predictions that I'm making are the same. So we're going to look at some of the notifications here. Edward Sim, thank you constantly, forever supporting my channel. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Who else we got here? Let's have a Third Eye Seeks. Thank you. Conscious Creation, Inspiration. Thank you. I appreciate you as well. Oh, here's some people I haven't seen for a while. Elsa, thank you so much for your support. Jace Jacobs, a poet, very kind individual. We've got Rick here. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you as well. And Rick's posting a new picture here. We've got Freebird, which is Mark Bird 17. Thank you for all that you do. Let's see what we got here. We got 666 Althawan, who's been following me forever and has 100,000 followers. Holy crepe. Holy crepe. Yeah, let's do this. Put it right over here. Paste. So if you're on Twitter, that's a good person to follow because you're not going to remember that. Let's see what else we got here. Click that. Oh, yeah, Donica. Or Donika. Donika. I think she pronounces it Donika. She is definitely worth following. Lots of wisdom, kindness, great post. It says here we go. Give more money to your dreams, not your fears. Don't wait for anyone to come and create your dreams or make your dreams happen for you. The only person can make it happen is you. Take a chance and be a doer. If you can dream it, you can do it. Okay, I agree. Here's another one. Good morning. You know who you are. You know what you want. Don't allow the roadblocks to change the course of your decisions. Find new ways to get to the finish line. I like that one. In fact, we'll do a little heart on that one. Okay. Today's affirmations. Show more. Here we go. My happiness attracts joy. My happiness attracts love. My happiness attracts friends. My happiness attracts positive energy. My happiness attracts abundance. My happiness attracts health. That's a good choice. Let's click that. Did I click it? Okay. I recommend them as well. Who else we got here? Go back. All right, let's get out of here. Click that. So many buttons. All right, Alina Pan, thank you. Melissa Quigley, I think is author. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's been following me for quite a while. Thank you, Maria Humphreys, for all you do. What else we got here? Thank you, Dr. Filippi. I appreciate you as well. Bobby Brooks. Bobby Brooks has been following me, honestly, maybe 10, 12 years. Long time. Coach Turby. He says I'm an amazing human being. I would love to agree with you, sir. I hope that's true. What do we got here? Let's do this. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Go like this, click this, take this, put it over here, put it there, paste, and do that. It's going to let me do it, or is it too much? It's too much. It's too much. Okay. What if we do this? Take all that out, delete it, and try it now. Oh, just slightly too much. Okay, let's take some of these out. There, we got it now. Now it'll fit. Perfect. Just. There we go. Here's some people I recommend, and I do that. I do shout outs. I try to do a couple every day. Some days I'll go crazy and I do 10 to 20 of them, but I haven't done that for a while. Just haven't had the time. All right, so who else we got here? Let's go back. We'll do a couple more and we'll call it a day. So what do we got here? It is your place. Oh, I like this here. Let's do this one. It is your place in the world. It is your life. Go on and do all you can with it and make it the life you want to live. And I agree. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. And may you find moments of peace, tranquility, and be kind to yourself and try to control that mental chatter. Enjoy the football. We will be on Sunday on Tony D. I'll put the link in here later. I don't know who's all going to be there, but there's a chance that we'll be on Sunday, but there's a chance we won't be as well. Maybe we can do it earlier in the week. God bless you all, and may you feel that tug or pull within your inner core that directs you to your highest high. But don't be upset if you're in the valley right now. Know that the valuable life lessons are found there. God bless. See you soon. Keep listening and be kind to those who bring a sense of peace and dignity to your world. Peace.